Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your January 2016 love reading. It's Raina here, your fellow Sagittarian, laying out the cards. I think I'm going to do some more, sometimes I like break up the cards into different piles just to mix things up a little bit. Okay. Oops, I don't know if these are all uneven. Hopefully, if you can't see them, I'll still hold them up anyhow. I could put this back, I guess. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So, the overall theme of January for your love life, the Ten of Wands. This may mean that you're really working very hard, or if you're not employed, you could be like taking care of a parent or doing something. You're like on the verge of burnout with whatever it is that you're doing. But you know, sometimes this can be the burden of success, where you're really involved in your career, and if you're in a relationship, it could be affecting it. Even if you're single, it could be, you know, impeding your ability to just go out and have fun. And I immediately thought of the Three of Cups and just have a good time and let your hair down. You may be just too swamped with work, and that could be good for your finances, but not so enjoyable for your personal life. In the recent past is the Nine of Cups. So maybe you did meet somebody, and maybe it was somebody. This card could also just relate to your whole life in general, just really positive vibes. This is a card of wish fulfillment, a card of, you know, even like, though it's a card where it would be more of an emotional type of a theme, it could be even prosperity is associated with this card. So with that Ten of Wands, it could have to do with like a really successful business situation, but you're getting, you know, you're having your dreams come true, and yet, you know, it's causing you to have to really work hard. This could be that you find the person of your dreams, but maybe you don't have time to see them. And maybe you're even like, for some people, because the Nine of Cups is in the past position, so this may have been a while ago, and maybe you're even being transferred to another city and working very hard there. And that was kind of like what the Ten of Wands represents, that you're not even, that you're separated from that person. You're working hard. The separation I'm just adding on my own and saying that may be what's keeping you from being with that person. It can relate to different signs. It could be that you were with somebody, and I would say this has a positive connotation, a water sign individual. So that's either, it could be a Leo or a Leo. Why did I say Leo? A Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces. And again, as I said to another sign, it doesn't have to be their sun sign. It could be, you know, somebody, it could be a fellow fire sign, but they have signature. I was thinking of my partner who is a fire sign and has a lot of water. Okay, and so a person like that, I was going to say, is usually very dreamy, but that's not necessarily the case. They might be very emotional all the time. And trust me, I have to deal with this. You know, somebody who's always like, you know, and with fire signs, we are emotional too, but we are emotional about impersonal things like, you know, politics or, you know, saving the whales. We're not emotional because somebody didn't, you know, looked at us the wrong way. Of course, we might not like that and we might be upset about it, but we're not going to be like, that's not going to be our main, source of drama. It's usually something in the world, because we're just, outward in our exploration rather than inward as fire signs. So that person could be it could be a fire sign that's very emotional, but it could be a water sign. So it could be like what I said. It could be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. And that would have been in the past position. But I think that person would probably have been good for you, because with the Nine of Cups, there's a positive connotation. And now you might be with a fire sign, and in this connotation, it might not be all that swell. It might be, kind of a burden on you. And this would be an Aries, a Leo, or another Sagittarius. And what comes in is the Hermit. So this may be, you deciding to withdraw. And even if you're in a marital situation, when I say marriage, I don't mean it has to be a legally binding contract. Anybody who's in a domestic partnership, whether it's a signed document or not, you may, if you're in that relationship right now, you may withdraw from that person emotionally, or, because you're trying to sort out your feelings. For some people, there may be two people involved. Maybe there's a water sign and a fire sign individual. And this is like making you want to really think about it, which is a good idea, because these type of situations are very difficult. I can't say that I've ever been in one of those situations where I had to choose between two people. And usually in those kind of situations, it's my feeling that either neither one of them is acceptable, and you're just like, I gotta have one of them, so I should choose the least offensive one, or that you just don't know yourself enough to know what is, who is more appropriate for you. And either one of those scenarios isn't really the best, because you want to be able to clearly see, who is right for you and who is not right. Now, I suppose it's always a possibility that there's two really good people out there who are really, potential mates for you. But in a lot of those cases, it's like they look good on paper and everything, but there's not that emotional connection, and that's what's freaking you out. Because you might say they're a great catch and everything, but you have to feel it. You can't just, maybe if you were an earth sign, it would just be like, okay, this person's very reliable, so I'm going to choose this person. And you would be happily ever after for 50 years. But for fire signs, and also for water signs, I feel, you have to have that kind of passion or that emotional connection for it to be really successful. At least that's my opinion. Take it or leave it. The higher message is the Nine of Pentacles, and this is kind of like saying from the spiritual perspective that, you are capable, you're an independent person. And I would actually say this for women, because, 9 times out of 10, the people, or I should say 8 out of 10, women are the ones watching this, and money, which is what the Pentacles represent, is kind of like, well, can I support myself? Can I live by myself? And stuff like that. And that's a legitimate thing. Even in 2016, women, because they have children, they just tend to, in certain instances, not make as much as men, especially like older women, maybe, younger women, probably not that way at all, because they're not getting married until their late 20s and all these things. So they're not having children early. But for some women, they may fear being on their own, and this card is saying you have what it takes. And talking about even on the financial level, that you have what it takes. I also think sometimes that if you're really unhappy and you do something that is going to benefit you emotionally, that the universe will have your back, and something will occur to demonstrate that. But, it is a tricky thing, because, if you have children especially, you don't want to put them in jeopardy, their life, in chaos either. But in some cases, if the marriage is very toxic, it can't be, having children be a party to that isn't good either. So I guess it's all depending. The card that crosses you is the Queen of Swords. This could be, in some cases, there may be another woman who is involved that is, very abusive. A queen can be a mother, so it could be if you're a woman and you're involved with a man that has a child with some other woman, she may be very demanding and saying bad things. The Queen of Swords in reverse is somebody who's uses words like as a weapon, and it's the worst quality of a woman, the worst manifestation of the female. I hate to say it, but it's like a bitch. It's funny. I have this book, Anthony. What's his last name? It's called Tarot Plain and Simple. Anthony, I can't think of his last name right now. But for the Queen of Swords, I remember the reversed one. He always said it's a real bitch, and I think this guy is like a psychotherapist. I highly recommend the book just to get some keywords on the upright and the reversed cards. I'm reading this as a reversed card because of the position it's in as a challenge card. And the thing I'm thinking is that if there could be somebody that is tearing you down too, when I see queen though, I think of like a mother figure. So even like, and that would be the connection with this other person, why they are in contact with that person, because they share a child together. And, she may even know of you, and she wants this person back, and so she's going to say whatever it takes. But it could be, I'm just saying this could be, if this is an aspect of yourself, because I know as a Sagittarian, especially if you have any Gemini in you, in a prominent position, that we can be sarcastic. And especially if you're feeling burdened, the Ten of Wands, if you're feeling like stressed out. And so you have to watch also that this is not you, and that this is not affecting your ability to attract a relationship or to sustain it even. Because you've had, I feel like, with those top cards, I feel like you've had something really wonderful happen to you. But, it may be like your private life is really great, but your public life, your career is just like wearing you out, and you need a break. And the Hermit card is like, you may need to just like, you're really not sure of what to do about it. Maybe you're like deciding, I'm not sure if I even want to stay in this job because it's affecting my relationship, or this wonderful relationship that I want to pursue. Well, if you're like kind of on the fence between that, the Ace of Cups is saying to go for this new relationship. This is a real beautiful card of love, an offering of love. And it could relate to this, It could be a water sign, but it could just be that person. And maybe you've been working so hard that you've kind of been neglecting that relationship, but you're not sure. You're thinking, you know what, maybe I need to change jobs because I don't have much of a private life, and life isn't all about work. So that's definitely saying that love is on the horizon, and that it's there for the taking. And the outcome is a victory card, the Six of Wands. Now, it's so interesting because I mentioned that there could be a fire sign or a water sign. Well, the new offer of love, it might be with a fire sign. Even though this card could be associated with water signs, the actual card's meaning is a new love. So it could be with a fire sign. Specifically, I think Leo is associated with the Six of Wands. But it could also be an Aries or a Sagittarius. So this is like, and this could be also with your career. Your career may be doing really well and you have some victory at work, and then that somehow that eases things up. Maybe you were working on a project that just had a limited time when it had to be, you know, you had to really focus on it, and now you're free to pursue a new love. So it looks really positive, Sagittarius. If you'd like a private reading where I focus on your natal chart and also do the tarot for the love readings, please click on link below. Otherwise, have a great January. Bye.